Now we have two very important questions that we should address in this report. The first one is, what if we flip the axis and coming back to tracker, and we can flip this axis right here. Now we notice the curve has changed its slope. It's actually the same points but in a positive direction, and the x coordinate of all the points has changed its sign. It was negative in the beginning, but now we notice that it's all positive. And if we calculate the velocity again, we find that it's positive 1 instead of negative 1, and then we go to Python, we change that here, we make it 1, and then we run the program to see the results. Yes, that's what we get here. The ball is moving in the same velocity but in the negative direction, in the positive direction in this case, and it's the same graph but the slope is positive in this case instead of negative. So that means that if we flip the axis, we get the same results but in the negative direction, and as for the curves, we get the same curves but in a negative slope. And if we compare the curves again, we find that they're the same but the slope of the two curves would be positive instead of negative. And now we go to the second question. How many push-some balls are added together to give zero net force? Okay, now we go back to tracker, and we've said earlier that there was some air blowing that way, and we know that there's friction coming from the ground in the ball that way in the positive direction, and this one in a negative direction, and the gravity is here, and there's the reaction of the ground here. So all these forces must add together to give zero net force. And thank you for watching.